Welcome, Internet family. This episode is specifically for men. Men, do you feel as though you have to purchase some big ticket item in order for your wife to know that you love her? That just isn't so. Stay with us and we'll show you how to get around that. We'll be right back.
Free clothes, free education, free electronics, free food, free everything. Can you afford free? Get free products for yourself. Give away free products to others. Get paid. It doesn't get any simpler than that. Visit our websites. Your pocket will thank you.
Welcome back, men. Remember, this is for you. Many men feel as though they need to buy something for their wives, some big ticket item, while at the same time they're ignoring their wives until they're ready for sexual intimacy. Well, fellas, it just does not work that way. Remember that sex happens in your head long before it happens in the bed. And what we're dealing with here is not sex. We're dealing with everything that happens in between intimate sexual encounters that leads up to it. We're talking about afterplay. So this is not that afterplay God's way, really. So this is not really about sex. This is about just treating your wife and letting her know at all times that you love her. And here's a few things that you can do. And it's not going to cost you any money. It's going to cost you some time and attention, but no money. One of the first things that you should do, and I would recommend this whether you are Christian or not, is that you take some time every day to pray with your wife. That should be the first thing that you do. Not only pray with her, but show her that you care for her in praying for her, with her, holding her hand, and mentioning her in prayer. Even if you're not a Christian, you should be able to at least take some time where you and your wife get together and you spend some kind of time, some intimate time together that is just with you praying in the sense that you are really concerned about it. But we're really talking about prayer and praying for her, praying with her, and showing her that you really care for her because you mention her by name. This way you can get to discuss other things when you're discussing scriptural things. You can get to discuss other things along the way and discuss things about your day or discuss things about just a whole range of matters. And your wife really will understand that you care and love her, care for her and love her when you do this. Do you not do this all the time? Here's another thing you can do, gentlemen, men, is compliment your wife on the gifted things, on the giftedness that she has, on the gifts that she has. She may work in a job, or she may never get an opportunity for people to see the different talents and the different skills that she has, and you compliment her and say, sweetie, you know, you're really good at that, and it's clear that you take notice of her abilities. If a woman is in a job where, you know, she gets that kind of allocation all the time, it's still different coming from her husband. And she will really appreciate that, and it will it'll resonate deep within her that you're seeing what her gifts are and that you recognize it to the point where you compliment her for those things and you give her the necessary props that she should get. Here's another thing you can do, gentlemen. Express to her that you need and you value her. Sometimes, boy, we don't really do that. We just, you know, we get so familiar with our wives and we're so familiar with the one that we love and spend so much time with that we don't express to our wives how much we need her and how much we value her at all times. Something else that's really, really simple to do and that will really indicate to your wife that you really love her, showing her that you love her. Put your arms around her when she needs comfort and just hold her silently. Don't say anything. Now, I'm working on that. Now, let me say this too, gentlemen, is that all the things that we're mentioning here, we've got hundreds of them. But the things that I'm mentioning here, some of them I do and some of them I'm working on. Right? So I'm certainly not telling you that I'm an expert in this. But we're working on it. But that's very, very, very important. Let's hold her, you know, and silently put your arms around her and just express your need for her and don't really say anything. Just your holding her will indicate exactly that you need her. surprise her. Here's something else. Surprise her by doing something you think she wants done without her even asking for it. I'm kind of good at that, I think. I think I'm good at that. I sometimes do things for Delisa that she needs around the house, or when she's even doing her work that she doesn't really ask me for, but I see that she needs the help, and I'll ask her if I can help her. I'm not 100% good at that, but I'm getting a lot better at it than I was before, because she's got some skills, and I can help her out at times, because she helps me out quite a bit as well. We work on these videos and all this, as you know, she's directing them. So and she does the scripts, and she does quite a lot of stuff for us to get this done. So surprise her by doing some things for her that she didn't even ask you to do. Now here's one that I'm really working on, gentlemen, and one I'm sure many of you are working on too. When you feel you must correct her, be gentle and do so in truth. Speak the truth in love. Sometimes the person that we love the most, especially our wives, if you ever try to teach your wife to drive and she doesn't drive, and you're probably harder on her than anybody else. You know why? Because the person that you love, you expect them to be able to do things that you say, well, why can't you do this? You should be able to do this, or you should be able to get this right the first time. And many times we'll get upset with our wives to the point where our wives don't want us to show them how to do anything, because we talk to them in such a way that if somebody else was watching or listening, they would feel as though, man, who's this guy talking to? I remember a couple that the husband was real abrasive to his wife all the time. We told him, listen, man, you can't, don't talk to her like that around us. Don't talk to her like that, period. But if you can correct your wife in love and gentleness, man, that will go a long way to afterplay. We're not talking about everything is sexual in marriage, because of course it's not. But sexual tension is there. And you release it, when you get together, intimacy. And it sure does not help at all if you are harsh and hard to your wife all the time, and then, you ready for intimacy and you expect your wife to be all lovey-dovey. Fellas, if you haven't learned that already, it doesn't work that way. Those of you who are single, I'm telling you, it doesn't work that way. And if you've been newlyweds and if you've been married for a time, you know it doesn't work that way. Be kind and gentle to your wife. Here's another beautiful thing. Show your wife that she matters to you above anything else that you could do, or anyone else that you could be with that threatens her security in the marriage. Sometimes, fellas, we are so wrapped up in our business, or we're dealing with this person or that person, or we got this to take care of, that to take. Sometimes our wives feel as though, they don't matter. And sometimes the security that a woman needs to feel in a marriage is threatened because you're so busy with everything and everybody else that you don't even take the time to really spend with your wife and let her know that you love her and that she doesn't have to feel threatened. But you got to show her that she matters more to you than any activity or anything that you could do or anyone that you could be with. Here's another one, and this is the last one we're going to share with you for today. We've got hundreds of them, but show her affection without expecting sexual intimacy. That's a tough one, because men, usually when you start to get lovey-dovey and you kissy-kissy and all that, you expect to have sexual intimacy. But sometimes you need to do that without expecting anything in return at all. That is going to be a tough one for us to do. I know it's tough for me to do. But, I'm learning how to do that and just, love her up. I'm touchy-feely anyway. So if you're not a touchy-feely husband, you can learn how to be touchy-feely, because if your wife doesn't like that, then she just doesn't like that. But I'm sure most women like touchy-feely husbands, and they're touchy-feely, and they're not expecting, anything in return. It's kind of different, sometimes if you were touchy-feely before you were married, you shouldn't have been expecting anything anyway, but we're not going to deal with that. But if you are touchy-feely with your wife, then you should, do that. Show her affection, but don't expect anything, no sexual intimacy. Just do that a few times, and you'll be surprised that your wife will be all over you. Now, as we said, we've got hundreds of these, and we're going to be sharing these with you throughout different episodes. This is just part one of this, and Next time we get together, we're going to be dealing with another subject because, again, we have hundreds of these. But I want you to join us for our next episode. And the next episode is, I hate my spouse and I wish it were dead. Yeah, that's the next episode. So we'll see you then. Remember, love chose you.